Personal vibe is such an interesting concept because by the time you're old enough to understand it, yours is kind of set. Personal vibe, I'm sure that psychologists have a better way to describe this than the way that I'm describing it, but it's just like, how do you come across? It's probably a combination of 1,000 subtle psychological things, as well as like, are you fat? Are you hot? What are your teeth like? How do you present yourself? I think hair is probably a really big part of it. Because some people are just naturally likable. And I don't really know why, but I know people who are just you just like them. You meet them and your first impression is, oh, like I like this person. More dudes in terms of who I know, but I just know more dudes. And then certain people, like I know another guy, and he just instinctively comes across as unlikable, like cold and distant and robotic. And I think he's a good dude, but the way that he comes across to me is not somebody that I really want to hang out with. And it's interesting because I don't think you can tell this about yourself. Somebody has to say it about you. And it makes me wonder, what is mine? Like, what's my... Wait, let me find a knife. I got this knife for Christmas, and it's I'm very high tech because I just keep it in the paper sleeve. Probably bad for the knife. Like, what's my personal vibe? Because I really hope that I'm not somebody who's naturally unlikable. It is the psychological version of resting bitch face. It's like resting bitch aura. And you do not, and you can have that at any gender. I do think it probably develops more when you're an adult, but I don't know. I just wonder what mine is, and I hope that it's not awful. I talk a lot about maxing out the stats that you have. Basically, like, try to dress, if you can, like dress well, have nice, decent teeth, keep in touch with your hair, try to control your weight. But I think it's interesting because sometimes a dude who is like a little chubby is just naturally more likable. Maybe there's some evolutionary thing that means he comes across as less of a threat, like a jolly and jovial guy rather than a guy who's potentially threatening and aggressive. But the dude I was talking about, who kind of comes across as robotic, he is very tall. He's like 6'4", which is even taller than me. Boy, this is really loud. He's really tall and very skinny. And so there's probably an intimidation factor too, because if he were a little shorter and a little chubbier, then I wouldn't, I think he'd come across as way more likable. So there's probably some threat or evolutionary angle that Arthur Brooks could probably reveal a lot about. But I don't have the words for it. And I'm sure it's like a jealousy angle for me too, because this particular person, I'm just gonna cut this a little more while I finish my thought. This particular person is more financially successful than I am. So I think there's probably some male jealousy in the mix as well, which also contributes to his unlikability for me. And I don't know I don't know if there's ever been a short dude who I found as, never mind. Yeah, there has been one. So I'm not sure if it's height dependent, but I'm sure it's a bunch of factors and height is one of them. So anyways, here's what I've been cooking up. This is what I have for lunch each day. Watch, I'm gonna do the thumbnail. I'm gonna do the thumbnail. I'm gonna do a probably daily routine video because I've settled into a pretty healthy one with the exception of my days are very productive and I get very little sleep. So we'll see how that ends up. This is just a huge thing of vegetables with, today I had some cilantro that I didn't know I ordered. So I'm making it with some cilantro and taco seasoning, guacamole, and I'm gonna add some salsa as well. So I forgot to put some salsa in and it gets real salty without it. But anyways, it's a bunch of vegetables. This whole thing is like 300 calories. This is typically my second meal of the day. I've gone from as you know, if you've been watching the videos, which you haven't, I have gone from a couple big meals to a lot of smaller meals, and I'm really liking that so far. And this, despite being very volumetrically large, I don't think that's a word, is a small meal calorically, which I like. So that's typically protein bars first, and this is second. A big monstrosity. I don't know how the flash is on, but whatever. I've started calling, I make a lot of stuff like this, and I just call it unga pachka, regardless of what's in it, because it's just a big, disgusting smash of sludge.